Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Hey, thrilled today to have Mitchell Fink, point guard at Oregon Tech, with 886 assists, 2,178 points, almost 500 career rebounds. Fink is the top career assist man and point scorer at Oregon Tech history. He's also one of 7 men's college basketball players at any level to have over 880 assists and more than 2,100 points. Only the 7th person in the history of college basketball. Welcome, Mitch. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You know, you grew up in the Portland area. You went to Clackamas High School. That team, your senior year, that was the first Clackamas team in almost 60 years to go undefeated in league play. Talk about that senior team you were on.
Yeah, so my teams in high school were always pretty good. I had a really good coaching staff. My head coach and my assistant coach, I'm still very close with to this day. And we kind of just we prided ourselves on winning a conference championship. That's what we wanted to do. And we pretty much came into a new league my junior year. So we were in the Three Rivers League with Westland, Lake Oswego, and all those schools. And then we got moved over to Mount Hood Conference. And my senior year, we were kind of tired. We played in Central Catholic. They ran through our league the past 5 years. I think that they won it 5 years in a row. Like, never lost a home game in league. And we kind of just wanted to make a statement and just show that we're there. I remember we were undefeated going to at Central Catholic, and my coach did all these things to get fans there. He bought a bunch of pizzas. All my friends were there, and we went in there and played a really close game and won that one, and then finished out our season. And it was a pretty cool experience. Got to cut down the nets and everything, but still came up a little bit short at state.
Well, you came off a terrific high school career, and then you had to decide where you're going to go to college. So
Yep.
What was the process like? How did you end up at Oregon Tech?
Man, I started looking. I decided I wanted to play college basketball probably my freshman year of high school, and I was looking, and I didn't have any offers all the way up until Parnell offered me, which was after my senior season had finished. So, I mean, I had a pretty good career at Clackamas. I enjoyed my time there. I played with a lot of great players. And then finally I started talking to Parnell really late. He sent me over the offer. It was my only offer. So, and I went to the school to visit, and I wasn't sure if I was going to go JUCO route and try to make it to D1 or just stay, because I wanted to go to a 4-year university. And once I went to the school and visited the campus and saw all the facilities, I just knew it was the right fit.
You met Coach Parnell, and then, Klamath Falls, it's different than Portland. Did that scare you off, being kind of that far away, that isolated?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have been really scared if it wasn't for having a friend down there. So Tyler Heeb was already committed, and he's actually the reason I even started talking to Parnell. He reached out to Parnell and said, if we have another spot, we should look at Mitchell Fink. And Parnell was like, okay, I'll take a look at him, and then came and watched me, and then that's how it all started rolling. But I think that just knowing that I had a roommate that I was going to, and Seth Erickson, I knew Seth Erickson as well from FAST, playing AAU or FAST program. So I knew both of them, knew I was going to live with them, so I knew it was going to be all right.
Well, it certainly worked out for you. You're a 3-time Player of the Year in the Cascade Conference. Your freshman year, you were Newcomer of the Year, 2-time first-team All-American. I think your sophomore year, you were third-team All-American, if I remember right. Can you just talk about what it was like to – I think Danny Miles Court's a special place. What was it like to play your career at Danny Miles Court and to be part of that tradition of Oregon Tech basketball?
I mean, it's definitely an amazing feeling just to know that you played in front of so many people for your college career, because there's so many colleges out there that don't have a lot of fans that come out, don't have a lot of fan support, and that's a lot of what you see up here in Portland. A lot of the schools don't have great fan support, so just playing in an arena where they can get over 1,000 people almost every single night, it's a really good feeling, and it's a really a motivating thing to just know that you have all those people that are supporting you and behind you, and it just helps push you to keep going harder and want to win that much more.
There was a special night, one of the games in Portland. I estimated, and we got to put this in perspective for people around the country. This is 5.5 hours from campus. And I think I estimated about 80% of the fans there were Oregon Tech fans. Do you remember that night?
Oh, yeah. Warner Pacific is, their gym gets super loud, and my parents know that. And every year my parents, I think they kind of take a little challenge on themselves to see how many people that they can get there to come support. because they know how much of a difference it can make, and all my friends come. So I think my mom estimated that she got like 80 people there
Yeah,
just on her own. So it was pretty cool experience to play in front of all my friends and family like that.
I didn't realize how many Oregon Tech fans were there until Steiger hit that half court shot. And then, of
Oh
course,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
all the Oregon Tech fans came up, and I looked around the gym, and I thought, holy crap, I didn't know there was that many people there. But around that time, that's when the Avalanche injury started. Now, before the season, you lost Kellen Gehrig, a senior, who was going to be a key member of the team. He broke his foot.
Yeah.
But the night before that Warner Pack game, you lost Kyson Faust. And then, right behind that, you lost Tyler Heeb and Seth Erickson, an All-American, one of the best shooters ever at Oregon Tech. Talk about what that was like and how you got through that.
Yeah, so the first one to go down was Kellen, and he had a foot injury. And I remember we didn't know. We thought he just had like a sprained ankle at first. So we were expecting him to come back, and that was he's a big piece of what we do because we're just a tough team. We play a lot of guys, and we run the lanes. We run fast breaks hard, and he's one of the best at running the fast breaks in the nation. He's so athletic. And the second he went down, we thought we'd get him back, and I think it was right around when Kyson went down that we found out that Kellen would not be coming back. We found out that he actually had a broken foot. So we had to swallow that pill of taking two of the toughest guys, two of the most athletic guys on our team, not going to be with us for the rest of the year. So that was very hard, and I think we dealt with it really well. It was adversity for sure, but we dealt with it really well. We kind of everybody just had to play a couple more minutes and play that much harder just to make up for their toughness and their athleticism. Right when we kind of figured things out, we got back on a little winning streak. Ty had his accident, and he went out, which was tough for sure because people just like watching the games as a casual person, like you would not understand how much like Tyler means to our team. He just comes out, defends, runs the lanes, does his job, doesn't take a bad shot, does everything on defense, talks, makes sure we're all in line. He's very good at keeping me in check when I start to get it popping off a little bit. But yeah, he's one of my best friends, and he's really good at keeping everybody emotionally in check. But yeah, so when he went down, it was a pretty tough for us. And then Seth Erickson went down, and everybody knows how good Seth is. I mean, he's just somebody that can get you a bucket whenever you need it. And he takes a lot of pressure off of me offensively, and he makes defenses stay honest. I can't tell you how many open layups I've had because they just can't even leave him. Because a layup from me is probably less likely to go in than a wide open three from him. So once he went down, we didn't have him or Ty for a while, and we knew we were going to get – well, we didn't know we were going to get both of them back, but we had a pretty good idea that we were, and we were excited, and we wanted to get to – we got to the point where we were like, well, we need to make the national tournament, and we'll get everybody back. And it doesn't matter what seed we are. But we did a good job. Parnell kind of changed our offense a little bit. We put in a lot of new sets to kind of fit our new roster just until those guys got back, and I think that worked pretty well.
During that stretch, you only lost 3 games. You lost that first one at Eastern. You went behind quite a bit at first half, and then the second half, that was the first game you played without everybody. And then lost that another heartbreaker at Northwest Christian, and was it Southern Oregon, the other one? But they were all one possession games, had a chance to win right at the end. Every one of those games you had a chance to win on the last shot.
Yeah, for sure. That hurt.
So Harrison Steiger and Scotty Burge, because you lost all your guard. Your guards were who you lost. And so Harrison Steiger and Scotty Burge, they went from about 22 minutes a game to virtually 40 minutes a game.
Yep.
Talk about how those guys, everybody, talk about those two particular and how your teammates stepped up.
Yeah, I mean, Harrison Steiger is somebody that he didn't start at the beginning of the year, and we all knew that if he went to any other school, he'd be a starter. And we feel like that like with a lot of guys on our team, but we knew he had the talent and the skill to play 40 minutes if he needed to. So it just came down to him stepping up and being a little bit more aggressive, and he did. He started shooting a lot more, scoring a lot more. He stepped it up on defense big time, and same with Scotty Burge. I mean, we know what Scotty can do. He's just so consistent, so level-headed, knocks down open shots, doesn't take bad shots, doesn't turn the ball over, and he just did that. He took it from 22 minutes a game to 40 minutes a game, and that helped us so much. He was a huge part in it, and he was our guy. Every night that somebody was low energy, he would just make a play dabbing on the ball, saving a loose ball, just something to get us going, and I think he's a big reason that we were able to stay afloat this year. Without him, it would have been rough. Another guy is Garrett Albright. Garrett went from he was barely shooting at the beginning of the year to he was posting up, and I think he was shooting like 60% or higher. Those weren't easy shots down there. He worked really hard in that time when everybody was down, and he came up big for us, and that was huge for us in winning a lot of those games.
During that time, a lot of the pressure, offensive pressure, came on you, and you have a really unique offensive style. Your responsibility is to break down the defenses. You cut a lot, and you split double teams. Or for fans outside the Northwest, they call him Ice Rink Fink, because what Mitch's job is to do is to get an unbalance in the defense and then create seams for his teams. So how tired you talked about being able to go to Seth or go to Ty for a shot when you need it. How exhausting was that for you to basically have to carry the offensive load and create all the shots with those two guys out?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. There were some times where I was cramping up, had to play through that, but I really do think our teammates stepped up a lot. And Harrison was putting up 15 points, and Garrett was around 15 to 20 that whole strip. But it was definitely tiring, and it just it took a while for me to kind of find that medium of how much more I need to shoot now and how much more I can pass to my teammates, because we don't have Seth at the end of the shot clock or Ty at the end of the shot clock just to dish it off to if I'm tired now. Parnell was kind of expecting me, even if I was a little tired, to make something happen. So I was definitely struggling with stamina a little bit, or fatigue, but I think that it got easier as the games went on, and then when they got back, I was just in that much better shape.
So late in the season, in the conference playoffs, you had a classic battle with Northwest Christian, a young team that's going to be very good as these freshmen age. That was a classic battle. You buried a three late to finally finish that game. Talk about that night.
Yeah, definitely. It was. Conference tournament is tricky because you play on a Wednesday night, which is not normal, and there's just no girls game before, so it's kind of hard to. You don't really know what your routine is because it's completely different from what you've been doing for all the leagues. So I think our team, we kind of struggled. We struggled with that last year as we lost in the first round, but we came out a little sluggish, and they're really skilled, really good team. When they get it going, they're really hard to beat, as we saw at their place this year. But yeah, so they came out and they made a lot of tough shots, and it took a lot from us to fight back. But luckily we had Ty and Seth back by then. They helped out a lot, and yeah, we finally pulled out the win in the end, which was good.
You know, Mitch, I'll never forget you hit that three late to close out that game, and you turn, you look up at the crowd, and in a high energy moment like that, you would always look toward where your family all sat. Talk about how special your family is to you and how important they were to your whole college basketball career.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I could go on all day about how much they've done and how much they've helped me. But just to say the least, they came to every game. I think they missed probably 4 or 5 games my whole college career out of I think I played 134 games. So when you think about that, that's pretty crazy. They drove to College of Idaho. They drove everywhere. They went to Arizona when we went to Arizona. They've been to every single national tournament. And yeah, I think it's just awesome to know that you have someone there for you, and they really provide a lot of support. My mom, dad, grandma, my uncle came to so many games. My brother came to a lot of the games. So just to have that big support system was a lot of fun, and just knowing that there's people in the crowd, even when you're at C of I and everybody's screaming at you, coming at you, and trying to get in your head, you know that you got at least your support system there that believes in you. It's a big relief, and just helps you keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. I joked with a friend of mine. I said Oregon Tech ticket sales are going to go way down when Mitch's family stops coming. There's going to be a big open space on the reserve side. You know, we talked a little bit about this style you have, this splitting double teams. Where did that come from? Where did that become one of your key pieces of your repertoire, if you want to call it that? And did you ever have any coaches discourage that?
I'd say it came from, I had a trainer when I was really young. I started doing one-on-one training. I think I was in 4th grade, and I was with a trainer. His son was actually the #1 player in the nation. His name was Virgil Williams-Goss. His son played at Gonzaga, Nigel Williams-Goss, and we started training almost every morning before school, and then he just dropped me off at school, and we worked on pick and rolls. He wanted me to be just a heady point guard, be able to get through any defense. So we worked on every single type of situation you could think of, and he would just pound it into my head and make sure that I knew what we were doing, and I was going to be ready for anything. And that was in 4th, 5th, 6th grade. Probably did that for 4 or 5 years straight. So I think those years really paid off, and it was just something that became second nature to me by the time that I was actually playing in offenses that did pick and rolls and had all these systems in place. So it was second nature to me. And then from probably eighth grade all the way through high school and then all the way through college, I was in that same type of offense, and all those things just kind of came together for me.
Did you ever have any coaches in your career, or your high school coaches that, or before, that discouraged you from trying to split those double teams?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, maybe my freshman year in high school, I played varsity a little bit, and I remember my first game I tried to do a little too much, and the assistant coach sat me down and was like, "Your job is to pass the ball to the seniors." And I was like, all right, I'll stop with all that stuff. But sophomore, junior year, they kind of let me open it back up a little bit and kind of relied on me to do that. So there's only a couple of times I'd say that happened.
But when you're able to do it, and you did it a lot, when you're able to do it, it really creates some big seams in the defense.
Yeah.
You know, the Cascade Conference here in the Northwest, very, very lucky to have two of the best point guards in the nation. Talon Pinkney over at College of Idaho, first team All-American 2 years straight, Cascade Conference Player of the Year. You guys have had some classic matchups. I know you respect each other quite a bit. Just talk about your matchups and against Talon Pinkney and the wars you had with College of Idaho.
Yeah, for sure. College of Idaho has probably been our biggest rival since I got to school. We've both always been at the top of the league, and I'd say both of our arenas are the two toughest places to play in our league. So it's been fun going back and forth, and I know Pinkney, me and him have been a lot closer these last couple of years. Our relationship's grown as we played more and been able to talk more, and we still talk to this day on a pretty regular basis. But yeah, he's a really good guy. He's a really good player, as you know. He's one of the best defenders I've ever had to play at any level. He just gets under your skin. He's strong. He's fast. He's athletic. He contests every single shot. You're not making a shot without getting over his hand or a hand in your face or something. So he's really good. He doesn't foul very often. Yeah, it's just been really fun to compete against him. And one other thing is that just knowing that he's over there in Idaho and I'm here in the off season, it's just a little extra motivation, just knowing that he's working and he's right there. And you want to just keep competing. You want to be able to compete with them. So it's just it's more motivation in the off season to work harder, just because you know someone's so good on the other side.
Yeah, they're waiting for you. Well, he's so quick, isn't he? He's like a jet when he goes to the hoop. He's just so fast.
Yeah, even if you get him on a little crossover or something, he's right there. He's right back.
You talked about rivals. Southern Oregon's another rival. In your last game in the playoffs against Southern Oregon, the gymnasium over there was packed. They have a beautiful facility, and it was pretty well evenly split. Southern Oregon is only about 60 miles from Oregon Tech. It was pretty well split between Oregon Tech fans and Southern Oregon fans. And that place, before the game started, was really rocking and rolling. What was it like to play in that atmosphere?
Oh, yeah, that was really cool. I remember coming up for warm-up saying it was like split halfway, Oregon Tech and SOU, and I was very surprised. I wasn't ready to see that. And then, like, we were warming up, and I was seeing a bunch of students walking in, different athletes from Oregon Tech, and it was just pretty cool to see the support from not only the community but the school as well. So that was a really fun night, and that atmosphere is something that I'll never forget for sure. That place was going nonstop. It was a close game the whole time, and they were both going back and forth. Every time OIT started to chant, Southern Oregon student section was just right there with them.
That has to be a fun environment to play in, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That makes it so much better. Whether it's your fans or the other team's fans, having a big crowd there makes the game a lot more enjoyable, a lot more fun, a lot more emotions.
You know, I asked Ty Hoagland about this. When you go into, I'm going to call it enemy territory. Probably a good example is Northwest, because it's many, many miles. It's, 9 hours from Oregon Tech, and they got that small gym, and it's so loud in there.
Yeah, it is.
What is it like to play in that environment when, the majority of the world is against you and it's loud, and does it juice you up?
Oh yeah, I think it definitely gives you some energy. It gets you going. But I think the big thing about playing in gyms like that, you don't have very many fans there. You just have to have a really close team at that point, because you just know it's you and your teammates and your coaches against everybody. So to know that, you just have to have great energy off the bench just getting crazy every time someone scores, and just being able to rely on each other and know that we're going to be fine and just keep pushing through. So those are the big games that I think really good teams go in and win, and teams that struggle with that a little bit, that's where they can struggle and drop some games.
We're talking about Northwest. I'm not going to let you go. You know the game I'm going to ask you about. It was 2 years ago. Northwest had you beat. You were beat.
Yep.
And late in the game, you came down. They conceded the 2, basically. I think they just had to inbound the ball. I couldn't see, nobody where I was sitting could see anything because everything was screened out. But all we saw was you come out of the corner with the ball, throwing it to Seth. Scotty Burge ended up tipping the ball in. Just talk about the end of that game. That thing will go down in the Fink legend land.
Yeah, I mean, we were playing, I think we were down 4, or we were down 3, right? And Parnell always tells me to go for the quick 2, so I came down and got the quick 2, and then they were passing the ball in. Can't remember if we called it timeout or not, but remember they broke hard to the corner, and I was just kind of trying to subtly hold on to their offensive player a little bit, and the second they threw it in, I just tried to cut in front of him, and lucky enough, I got a little hand on the ball and got to the ball before he did, threw it to Seth. I think Seth missed it, right? He shot it long, and Scotty was there for the wide up and put back layup, and we needed that win so bad, and it was just really a great moment for our team.
Seth got pounded pretty hard from behind, but Scotty Burge was right there with the tip in. It was I'll never forget you coming out of the corner with the ball. And then I was trying to figure out what happened. I listened to the post game, and they asked Parnell about that last play, and he goes, "I don't know, it was a blur." So
yeah, it was a blur.
Well, Mitch, you had some really great moments, and then you go out to South Dakota, and you never got to play a game. You know, what was that like when Justin, or however you found out, what was that like when you were told no more games?
Yeah, I think I kind of saw it coming just because with the NCAA canceling everything. So I was kind of prepared for it, kind of not. Once the final news finally dropped, I remember we were all in our hotel rooms just trying to rest because we had a late start to our game. And all of us just opened our door at the same time and just came to the hallway and just were hanging out together and waiting for Parnell to text us. And I think Parnell was a little bit nervous to text us. He didn't want to face us after that horrible news, but he did. He texted us to come downstairs ASAP. So we all came downstairs and talked it out as a team, and Parnell kind of just thanked us seniors and everybody else for the season we had. It was definitely an emotional time for me, Seth, and Ty, and Jordan especially, just knowing that our career was over and we didn't even get to play our last game, knowing it was our last game.
So Mitchell, what does life look like for you after Oregon Tech? You're pretty much done now with school, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty much done. I'm planning to graduate in the spring.
What did you major in?
Majoring in communication with a minor in coaching.
What are your plans after you graduate? Are you want to play overseas? What are you going to do?
Yeah, so I want to go play overseas. That's the goal. So I've been kind of trying to figure out what my next steps are for that. But yeah, that's my main goal is to go play overseas and hopefully play over there for as long as I can. And then when I get done with that, I want to come back and get into coaching. So not sure where that's going to take me, but that's pretty much my main goal is to go play overseas for as long as I can. And once that ends, I'll come back and get into the coaching scheme and try to become a head coach somewhere.
How old were you when you decided you wanted to coach?
Man, I think that trainer I had when I was really young, I remember him telling me that he's like, we're gonna train you to be a coach one day. He's like, I'm gonna train you to be a coach one day because I can see you have a high basketball IQ, and I want to make sure that you have that option when you get older. So I think it was in 6th grade that I kind of realized that I wanted to be a coach, and then I kind of got away from it for a little bit, and then I kind of just realized I want to be around the game as much as I can. So I think I decided, probably around 6th, 7th grade.
Well, whatever you end up doing, you'll be very successful at it. You know, Mitchell, I appreciate you being on the show, coming on and interviewing. Thank you very publicly for, what you've done for NAI basketball. You're a great ambassador both for NAI basketball and Oregon Tech basketball. And thank you for what you've done for the game.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you for having me as well.
Oh, absolutely, Mitch. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.